What's going on, everybody? If you're a little confused of what's going on right now, we had some other plans and they fell through. Usually, it's me and James at the end of the week, but since it's Monday Night Football, things are a little different. So I got him here on a Monday. We originally uh, didn't. It was going to be me and Bashar, and then James was added, and now Bashar dropped out. So James is gracing us with his presence as we get ready
Hello.
for Monday Night Football, Week One
Prime
of the
time.
2024 season. It's with mixed emotions. We talked about this off stream before we started. Like, I want to get your feeling on how your feelings are. I know my feelings are more mixed because I'm still kind of harboring some stuff from the end of last season with the Super Bowl. Some people are able to just turn it on, turn it off, and the new season starts, and they're able to kind of just wash it. Um, it's weird. The 2020 season, COVID year, when that season started after that Chiefs Super Bowl loss, I was kind of feeling how I'm feeling right now, similar. So as we get started, I guess I'll just ask you, James, because I'm feeling kind of a certain way, all of my feelings. What is your feeling about tonight and just the season overall?
Like I said, pre pre this, it's a new season. Anything's possible, but it's still, I still have a little feeling of the bothering, of losing three Super Bowls. But it's a new season. We got a whole different team. I think, I'm going to be honest. I don't even think I'm going to watch the 49ers Chiefs season game. It's just too hard for me to do. So without the Chiefs in the picture, I feel good. When the Chiefs are in our mix, I don't like it. But, this could be our year. This could be a horrible year. We don't know. Hopefully, Purdy just goes off like he did last year, and we stay with a good offense, and everybody stays healthier. So far, that hasn't been the case, but we'll see, man. I for me, it's a new season. We can do a lot with this team. I can't wait for the Bills Niners game because by then, we're gonna have Dre Greenlaw back. We're gonna have Hufunga back. We're gonna have all these players back that are injured right now, and our defense is gonna be stacked. So
Yeah, and we're
looking
both.
forward to the future.
Yeah, you're a fellow Bay Area guy who's now a Rochester native. I've been Rochester native, my whole life. Hence the name of the show, the 5x5. If people are not familiar, that is the area code of Rochester, New York. Uh, me and James just kind of met, and it was like, "Oh, you're a Niners fan. I'm a Niners fan." And we have this genesis of a
Yep.
show where we could just talk about it from our perspective of being 49er fans that live in the Northeast. So,
Hmm.
my whole thing with this season is just being a little less engaged, I guess, because when we experience what we've experienced, it kind of dulls things and numbs it a little bit. Maybe that's for the better when you watch games and you don't have really any expectations. Now, do I have expectations with this team? Yeah, they're really talented. Um, they got a lot of really high priced players, as we all know. Some of them just barely got into camp before the season started. So there's a lot of expectations in that way. Depending on who you talk to, though, especially people that follow the 49ers who aren't 49er fans, people that do it for a job, ESPN, FS1, all those guys, like a lot of people are expecting a down year. A lot of people are expecting the 49ers to kind of take a step back, not necessarily like because they suck. It's just because of like the Super Bowls and just the overall wear and tear and the mentality of like, losing and what it does to people and all that stuff and the fallout from that. But like I said, I'm not really 100% ready, but it doesn't matter. It's here. It's Monday night. Who knows? Maybe by halftime and this game's going good and the Niners are looking good, maybe my feelings change. I'm like I said, I'm a little bit with a little bit of trepidation right now, not like fear or anger, just a little bit of like, man, I can't believe the season's already here. It's already September. So uh, it's going to be interesting. I mean, you got a Hall of Fame quarterback on one side who didn't even get a chance to play a full quarter in his debut last year with the Achilles injury going. But he's back. He's healthy. He hates the 49ers because they didn't draft him, so I'm sure he's got a little bit of extra motivation. And then, the Niners, they really can't come into this game and have a whole lot of like, oh, we faced Aaron Rodgers before because especially me, and I don't know about you, I don't know what to expect from the Jets at all. Like, I have no scouting report mentally. Like, what do the Jets do? I know they like to run the ball with Brees Hall, but like, I don't know. I don't pay attention to them. And Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, you always kind of knew what you were getting into. You kind of have a similar feeling of like not really knowing what we're up against tonight. Like, we'll kind of figure it out as it's going.
Well, yeah, I mean, they didn't have Aaron Rodgers all season last year, and their offense showed it. Now that they got him, we'll see if he's washed up or if he's not, because a lot of people are saying, "Oh, he's washed up, he's done, he's getting old." But he could fire on all cylinders. You never know. Um, he's never beaten us, and I don't think he can beat us. I just think that what you said, that we didn't draft him, kind of bothers him in a way that is to our advantage. It's like kind of we said, "Oh, you're not good enough for us," and I feel like that's what bothers him every time he plays us. We got Alex Smith instead, and that panned out okay. But I think yeah, it's hard to scout this team. They got a lot of talent. They got Sauce Gardner. They got who might be on Ayuk or Debo. I don't know who. Probably on Ayuk. And then they got Brees Hall, who's probably a top 5 running back when he's healthy. So I think the main thing, if I had a scouting report, stop Brees Hall. That's all I really know about their team is Brees Hall is really good. I've watched him play. But the rest of their team, I don't know much about. I know they have a pretty good defense, but that's it. Yeah, it's the Jets, so they haven't been very remarkable lately, but you never know.
Yeah, I feel like this team was kind of tailor made for him when he came over here. So to me, it's kind of like Packers Northeast.
Yeah,
He's got some familiar players that kind of followed him over. Uh, they have, I think it's C.J. Mosley, the middle linebacker. They have Quinnen Williams at defensive tackle. So they're not bereft of talent. They got players at every level on their defense that are good. To me, it's just a matter of like hard to get a feel on the 49ers because of training camp and preseason and guys missing and stuff. So going into this game, I'm really kind of just going in. I know this is probably not the right word to use it. I'm going in raw. I don't know. I know it's not a good word, but like, I just
going
don't
in
really
raw.
know. Going in raw dog. I don't know what to expect. I want us to win, and I hope we win, and I think we are good enough to win, but we'll see, man. Like, this team has got its second Super Bowl loss in what, 4 years, 5 years, whatever. So like, what's the mentality? How are players bouncing back? Are they completely forgotten about it? Are they totally invested in the 2024? We're gonna find out.
Yeah,
A long season, like you said, injuries are kind of the one thing that worry every team and every person who likes football. Is if a team can avoid injuries, you can kind of get a better sense of like how good they really are. When you have injuries, it's all about the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and what they could have been. So I hope for the Niners, for the most part, they stay pretty healthy this year, and then we'll see at the end of the year when it's all said and done. Are we good enough to be in the playoffs? Or are we a 1 seed? Or are we a wild card? Whatever. At this point, none of that really matters. It's week 1. Monday Night Football. The Niners are on the national stage. They're the NFC. They're the reigning NFC champion of the NFC. They won the championship game last year, as they did in 2020. So I mean, there's that. Um, like Monday Night Football is always a lot of pageantry, a lot of history. They talk a lot about the old Niner teams. It's yada yada yada. You know how it
yeah,
is. It's the
yeah.
same old stuff.
They have to show up, show out and show everything that's going on with us.
Right.
I think one thing that's cool is that we are on Monday night, the first game. That shows how good we are. They're like, okay, this team is good. Let's show them on Monday night. I remember the days where we were never on Monday night in the late '90s and early 2000s, some of the early 2000s, it sucked because I was like, man, we're not on Monday night anymore.
Yeah,
So
through
nice.
the 80s and the late 90s when we were good.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
49ers were synonymous with Monday Night Football, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then there was that era of really bad, the mid 2000s and then the mid 2010s.
yeah.
We kind of became an afterthought. And now we're
Mhm.
kind of back rightfully where we're supposed to be. But, with that comes with expectations, right? With that comes expectations. When you're on the national stage, you have a lot of eyes on you. I mean, look at the Dallas Cowboys every single year. It's can they do this? Can they do that? Is that good enough? And then every year, they fall short. Uh, they fall short on that, and then the media guys like Stephen A. Smith go real crazy on it. So, like the saying from Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. So you
Yep.
can go and be a team that's drafting in the top 10 every single year and suck, and the draft is your Super Bowl. That's great. And at some points when we lose Super Bowls, I'm like, man, sometimes maybe it's better if we're not good and we could just because the expectations make it that much more difficult to be a fan. Where when you don't have expectations and you watch games, you sit there and relax, you eat food, whatever. If they win, great. If they don't win, that's all right. But when you have expectations as a team, the national eye is on you and there's expectation. And
Yeah.
with expectation comes stress. I mean, I told myself last year I wasn't going to get overly bummed if we lost the Super Bowl. Guess what happened? I got really bummed when we lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So there's that. I mean, what would you rather have, James? Would you rather have a team that's picking in the top 10 in the NFL draft every year or a team that has a chance to go to a Super Bowl?
I don't know. That's such a hard question because I want to be good, but these past years we've lost the Super Bowl. It's so disheartening
It
and
is.
destroys me. And I'm like, just like it took me like 2 months to get out of it, 3 months at least to like get out of that real funk of just like everybody coming up to you. Oh man, I'm sorry your guys lost. Like because up here in 585, if anybody else is watching from a different area, sorry, um, the Bills fans don't like the Chiefs. So they all were saying, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss, man. It really sucks." And they kept saying it, and I'm like, "Yeah, I know it sucks. It sucks." You guys were so close. Oh my god. So I don't know, man. I really don't know the answer to that question because like at this point, I want to be successful, but the stress, holy shit, like just dealing with this it's the Chiefs though. Like that's really the thing. It's for me, the Chiefs are the main stressor. When I found out that they beat the Ravens and we're going to the Super Bowl, I just went, "Oh no." I just
Yeah.
went, "Oh no," because I knew, they're a hell of a team and the refs kiss Mahomes' butt. So without the Chiefs, if the league didn't have the Chiefs, I would say my answer would be a successful team. But with them in the league, it just freaking sucks. It feels like it's like the whole NFL versus the Chiefs. That's what it feels like, and I hope the Chiefs don't friggin' make it this year because I just can't stand them.
My brother's a big Miami Dolphins fan, and he essentially says like if you want them to go away, you got to beat them.
Yeah,
And it's tough. You watch games and like the refing is really bad, and it's yeah. I felt the same way when we won the NFC Championship game, and I knew we were going against the Chiefs. I celebrated for like a whole maybe 10 minutes, and I'm
hmm,
like, here we go again. Uh, this one was even worse than the last one as far as heartbreak goes. But I want to kind of change the subject. We can make it more positive.
yeah,
Let's talk Monday Night Football.
yeah.
For 49er fans, I don't know if this already happened, if they're going to do it at halftime. I know Bashar's in the comments. Thanks for showing up in the comments, brother. He's a big Frank Gore fan. They're inducting him into the Eddie D, like a Ring of Honor, Hall of Fame, whatever you want to call it. To me, Frank Gore, when you think of the Niners through some really lean years where they really weren't that good, you think of Frank Gore 100%.
Oh
I
yeah.
have a similar jersey to yours. I have an authentic Frank Gore sitting in my closet.
Hmm.
And it's a very cherished jersey. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
we have a guy like Christian McCaffrey now who's really, really good, but like Frank Gore was a legit bell cow running back on
Yeah.
some really, really bad teams. And he deserves all the accolades he's getting. I know he's part of the 49ers front office now and all that kind of stuff, but to give him his respect tonight and to pay honor to him and homage
Homage. Yep.
is very well deserved. And I'm looking forward to that. Say what you want about the Niners, good, bad, or indifferent. They have a lot of legends, a lot of
Yeah.
great players. You know, they're a team with a lot of history in the NFL, good or bad. And there's a lot of pageantry that comes with former 49er players, Frank Gore being one of them. You
Yeah.
know, Patrick Willis, guys like that.
Yeah. This
It
guy right
sucks when
here.
you, yeah, I have his authentic too in my closet. I
That
have a
that
Patrick
team
Willis.
was just so raw and just violent, and I loved.
It was a different era of football
Yeah,
too.
it
Like it was
was.
right at the end
It
of
was.
the physicality that you could play at
Mhm.
that level. I mean,
Yep.
him and Willis in the middle were just like, whew, you
Bowman
know what
as
I mean?
well. Yep.
They were those bigger old school middle linebackers that you just don't see anymore. You see a lot of more of the Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw type of guys, like smaller, quicker guys that can cover backs, guys
Yep.
that can cover tight ends. It wasn't quite that way when we had those guys. We had we ran a three. What was it? 3-4, right?
Yeah.
Justin Smith. We had Alden
Yep.
Smith, of course.
We had
But yeah, tonight's game is going to be interesting. Trent Williams did nothing. He didn't practice all off season. He's coming in, essentially raw. Besides the practice that they got when he signed. Same thing with Brandon Ayuk. There's reports that the Niners are not gonna give Ayuk a ton of run tonight, but that
mm,
could all be diversion and just a bunch of sideways talk to get a
yeah.
team ready for somebody else, and then they go to Brandon Ayuk anyways.
Yeah.
I am questioning how healthy Christian McCaffrey really is. He is questionable, but I guess he's expected to play tonight. Any thoughts on any of the guys that came in late, and what's your feeling on Trent? What's your feeling on Ayuk?
Well, Trent. I think for Trent, he's just a natural born beast, so he'll be fine.
Destroyer.
Ayuk, on the other hand, I think is going to be a little rusty because yes, I was talking to somebody about this. They're like, "Oh yeah, he was doing, his own OTAs and all his own training." That's a lot different than playing in a preseason game or playing against your defense, which our defense is amazing. So like you play against our defense in practice, you're gonna get some good training in. So he didn't have any of that. So I think Ayuk's still gonna be good, but I don't think he's gonna be 100% yet. I think I've been saying this. I think Debo's gonna have a good year. I just have a feeling. He's been training really hard. I watched a lot of his Instagram and how he's trained and how he's excited about this year. He doesn't seem bummed out like last year. Um, last year affected him at all. So I think Debo will have a good year. McCaffrey, I'm a little worried about him because he's had this thing going on for a while, but I think he'll be fine. He's a beast too. He played through the playoffs kind of injured. So, I mean, that guy is just bleeding everywhere. He doesn't care. He could have a broken foot and he'd still probably play and just not tell anybody. So, I think, just Ayuk will be rusty. The rest of the guys, I think, will be fine.
I feel like we have enough talent to offset a slow start from other positions. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Debo, he can stay healthy. I know that's the thing. You with Debo, it's like, yeah, he looks amazing. He had a great offseason. The year that he held out, he was kind of fat, kind of slow, out of shape. He looks really great. But will that translate into a 16 game or excuse me, a 17 game regular season availability? Same thing with Trent Williams. Trent is amazing. Trent is he's a superhuman beast, right? He misses games year to year, 4 games, maybe a year.
Yep.
So, I have no question that those guys will perform at a high level when they're on the field. It's just a matter of, how healthy can these guys be going into another long, long season, especially when you're in a long, long season years prior, championship game, Super Bowl, you're playing into February. How much time do you really have off? Maybe 6 weeks.
Yeah.
and then there's OTAs, and then it starts all over again. So, um, the sad part about this is, and I know we'll talk about him in a second. The whole Ricky Parasol situation. I know he had like his training camp was kind of rough this year. He had a lot of little injuries, and I remember, the talk was when he saw Lynch in the hospital, he's like, "Hey, I'm not injury prone." When they after the shooting happened and stuff. He's a guy. I sound like Chris Collinsworth. Oh, there's a guy, but he's a guy that I was hoping to get a good glimpse of in this preseason and early in this regular season, just based on the situation with Ayuk. And it's unfortunate we're not going to see him. It'll be interesting to see Jacob Cowing if he gets any touches. I
Yeah.
know Kyle is very much like, I go with my guys. I go with the guys that I trust. I overuse them sometimes, absolutely. Um, how is your feeling? Like, when we see number 19 tonight, it's not Debo, that's Jacob Cowing.
Yeah.
Are you okay with maybe a guy coming in Ayuk with the slow start, knowing we have all those weapons?
Yeah. I think we'll be fine. I mean, Kittle's there too. Don't forget about him. And then Juwan Jennings. I think we have enough weapons where one, two, even two guys are not there or just not, playing well. Two guys can step it up. We always have someone that steps it up, and I think that's what's great about our team. We have so many weapons that you can't count anyone out. Our backup tight end could have a great game. Our fullback could have a good game. You never know because Purdy is what I love about Purdy is he spreads the ball around more than most of our quarterbacks in the past have, and he could make Cowing look good. I don't know Cowing. It's going to be weird seeing Cowing with 19 on though. That now that you said that, I gotta now.
When I saw
Like,
it on Madden,
I
I was
gotta
like,
like
whoa.
I gotta like transfer my thoughts. Oh, that's not Debo. So um, so yeah, and a lot of people are gonna have to get that new jersey. So
Garendo's number 31.
yeah,
That's
most great
weird.
sold number. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I just want to backtrack on the Frank Gore thing. So, congratulations to Frank Gore. I loved him. That guy was just a tank. He would what I loved about him. He would run into a wall of defenders and literally pop out the other side, like he just like basically crawled through these guys because he was so low to the ground.
Hmm.
And I don't know how he did it to this day because it looks like I mean he wasn't a tall guy, he's 5'9", but still the fact that he could break tackles like he did, what is he, third or fourth on the rushing yards list? Fourth? Third or
He's pretty
fourth?
close to the
I
top.
think he's third.
And we've had that, people have had the discussion, is Frank Gore Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Anytime you're in the top
He is
three of
definitely. Yeah,
all-time rushing leaders,
yeah.
you're automatically a Hall of Famer in
Oh,
my book.
yeah, and I almost got to talk with him, Frank Gore, on Notable Live. It's this app where former players, auction stuff off and do stuff, but they used PayPal, which I'm not comfortable using because I got scammed on it a long time ago. So I didn't buy the. It was a picture of him, and he was going to sign it right on the camera. So I kind of got frustrated because with the app I used, but I figured it out. So I had to buy that picture to talk to him. So I didn't get to talk to him, which stunk, but I was like this close to talking to him. So eventually, hopefully, I talk to that guy because I would love to talk to Frank Gore. He seems like such a humble guy and such a good down to earth person. He talked about his son a little bit that his son has it way harder than he does because he has to live up to Frank Gore. I think the Niners made a big mistake not drafting that guy because I feel like Frank Gore Jr. is going to be good. The Bills got him, but he's not on their roster, even though he's ran. I know it's preseason, but he ran like 110 yards in preseason. So, yeah, Frank Gore is awesome. His son's going to be good, I think. Yeah, love that guy.
I'm it's weird because like there was an era of 49ers football where I didn't buy a lot of jerseys or hats or anything. I was protesting. And he was one of my first big buys, him and Willis.
Yeah.
I even have a Vernon Davis authentic jersey
Oh,
too.
I love
I am
reindeers.
not a big VD fan. I am more of a Kittle, Brent Jones fan. I'm a big Brent Jones guy.
Yeah.
But I guess tonight we could talk about the fact that, like, okay, so the Niners play tonight, right? Rams played yesterday. Rams lost. Seattle won, and who else?
Barely
Yeah,
lost.
Cardinals barely lost to the
They
Bills.
almost had
Talked to
another
the Bills
Hail
fans.
Mary.
I told Bills. I said, thank you for doing your job. We'll try to do ours
Exactly.
tonight.
Yep.
The Puka Nakua is hurt. He could be out for the next, what do they say, 3 to 4 games, something like that. He's going to miss the
4 weeks. Yeah.
Niners Rams game.
Hmm.
We talked about this off camera. Week 1 is never really a must win, but the fact that the Rams are dinged, this is a really good opportunity for the 49ers to
Hmm.
take care of business, get the win, and then, of course, get them hurting. And that necessarily doesn't mean that they're going to be a bad team, because they still got a ton of good players. And Stafford, I think Stafford is one of the best NFL quarterbacks that's in the league right now. He's top 5 to me. A lot of people don't believe that, but I think he's great. Um, you know, I think, like, anytime you can get up on a division opponent, even if it's week 1, you gotta do it. If they lose, you win. That's all great and everything. But then, we play them in a couple weeks. That could be great. You can get up, what, one game, a game and a half. So I'm looking forward to tonight's game for the simple fact I want to see if the 49ers could come out motivated, and knowing that they have a chance already week 1 to jump on a division opponent, get ahead of them. Watched the Seattle game yesterday. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it.
No, I did not.
Hard read. It's a hard read because they were going against Bo Nix, who looked atrocious. Now,
Yeah.
was he atrocious because of Seattle's defense, or is he atrocious because he's a rookie quarterback in the National Football League? I really don't know. All I know is that, um, what's his name? The quarterback of the Seahawks. Oh my God,
Oh, Geno Smith.
he looked horrendous.
Yeah.
He looked horrendous. Again, important to get up early in the season, because I still think the NFC West runs through San Francisco. I still think the Rams will be the team that's going to give us the most trouble. I just think as long as Geno Smith is the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, we have an inherent advantage. I don't know if you feel the same way. Like, I look at the division, I still think we're better than the Cardinals. Time will tell if we can, deal with the scrambling quarterback trash that we always seem to have trouble with. But I still think it's important to get up early, even if it's the first game.
Yeah. I believe you. I mean, the Rams always are a problem for us, but I don't know how I feel about Stafford because he threw up 317 yards yesterday, but he's he doesn't have that clutch about him where it's like, oh, he's gonna score this last drive. I think he's great. I don't know about Geno Smith on the other hand. I think he had that one good year 2 years ago, and then Seattle paid him, and now he's just like on the back burner.
He's
So
awful. He's
he
awful.
doesn't look very good. I think they just I don't know. They do have Kenneth Walker, who I think is definitely one of the best running backs in the league. But yeah, I agree. I think they run through us. I think the whole NFC, we've owned the whole NFC the past few years, and I think if there's one team that would bother us this year, I think it's going to be the Eagles because now they have Saquon Barkley. They looked fantastic against the Green Bay Packers, and I mean there was a few mishaps they had, but yeah, I think the NFC West so far, I feel good because nobody's really standing out. Um, I think Cardinals got a lot better, but I don't think they're there yet at all. Um, so yeah, if we win this first game, I mean we're tied with Seattle for first place. So here we go.
I'm still looking to see if Hofunga's playing tonight. Looks like he's in street clothes. This is from 12 minutes ago. Um, what's your thoughts on? Oh, let's keep looking here. Still haven't. I haven't been able because somebody in the comment asked what's the the news on the big bad wolf of Funga.
Yeah.
I have the injury report from the other day. Let's bring it up here. So we have, of course, Eater Gross Matos is out tonight. The Winters will not play. Aaron Banks is questionable. I would assume he's playing. Garendo looks like a go. Hufung is doubtful, so I would assume he's not playing tonight. Juwan Jennings is on here, and he's fine. Christian McCaffrey, calf Achilles, questionable. And then we have Tatum Bethune, and let's see who the last guy is down at the bottom here. Give me 1 second, people. Mitch Wisnowski, of course, he's back. We got rid of our backup punter. So that's that was the injury report from Friday.
Tatum
Wanted to
Bethune might
Tatum
be,
Bethune, was he like a 7th rounder and he made the team as a depth linebacker? I think that's great.
Yeah, he's a middle linebacker, and he might show up tonight. He's our backup because D Winters is out, so we'll see. Hopefully he's good.
I am concerned about the lack of depth at defensive end, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oops. I think that's a big concern. We'll see if it affects us tonight. I mean, it's essentially Bosa and Floyd out there, and I know that was something that me and Raj, me and Bashar, even you talked about, just that lack of depth on the defensive line. Still wondering if they're having a good season and they start out fast this year, if they go out and make a move, say trade deadline like they've been doing. I would not be surprised if that happens. I know I'm not sure if he's still a free agent, but Yannick Ngakoue is still out there. You wonder why teams haven't looked at him. You wonder if it's some sort of medical thing. But there is concern just with me with the lightness on edge.
Yeah.
Robert Beal, is that the backup pass rusher that we got? He didn't have the greatest preseason. Still looks extremely raw. He's on the active depth chart, so hopefully everybody can stay healthy on the defensive line.
He's very undersized too. He was like 6'4". When he first got on our team, he was like, I think he was 6'4", 230, and now he's 250. But he just doesn't seem very big, or it's the way he plays.
Doesn't have a whole lot of moves.
Yeah, he's just like, all right, I'm gonna push you, and that's it.
That's it. I don't have any, like, Bosa's got secondary and thirdary moves, but team captains. Everybody saw this the other day. I'll bring it up. We have, as you can see, Fred Warner, Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Trent Williams, Kyle Juszczyk, and Nick Bosa. God, we have a good team.
Yeah, we do.
We have a really good team. We have a really, really good team, guys. Regardless of what the outcome of this season is, you got to put serious credit to John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan and how they've built this roster over the past 7-8 years. Regardless of if we won Super Bowls or not, we have one of the best, if not the best, roster in the National Football League, top to bottom. So we talked earlier about, like, hey, would you rather have a team be bad or have a loaded roster with a chance to go to the Super Bowl every year? I would go with the latter. As much as I like watching the draft and be cool to have a top 10 pick, being in the top 10 usually means you suck.
Yep.
So, I mean, you have to, you know what I mean? Like, you're in the top 10 in the NFL draft, but then usually.
At least we're good.
Exactly. It doesn't mean that I'm cool with I'm not cool with us losing in big games, but, a lot of people say, oh, the teams of yesteryear, it was Super Bowl or bust. I still believe in that, but at the end of the day, there's only one team that wins. And the Chiefs are the NFL's cash cow. They're like the Patriots.
Yeah.
I won't see that the game is rigged, but I definitely think them winning and having, Taylor Swift on television helps the bottom line.
Oh yeah.
And anybody who disagrees with me, I'm sorry, but it's absolutely 100% obvious when you watch Kansas City Chiefs football games. It's literally scramble drill, Mahomes throws it to Kelsey, Booth shot. It's the same thing every single rotten game, right? If you do not think, if you tell yourself that it's just a coincidence and that the league is not that crafty and that it's just us being, sour grapes and whatever, just watch a game. Just watch the
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a talent show with Taylor Swift too. I can't stand it. Can't stand it.
Taylor Swift needs to be, oh, geez, Bash. Taylor Swift needs to be a
All right.
trans man and get the fuck out of the limelight with the NFL. Tell me how you really feel, Bash. Jeez. I think it's going to be night and day difference in both sides after training camp. Is in comparison to who? Oh, you're saying from last. Okay, I know what you're saying. So last year, Bosa showed up right at the end, right?
Yeah.
Didn't go to training camp, and he had a really slow start. This year, he was there in OTAs. He was very active. He was one of the more active players that was in training camp this year. I think him and Debo have the potential, as long as they stay healthy, to have really big bounce back years when you compare them to the years that they either held out or were waiting for a new contract.
Yep.
They both had slow years. Debo was slow, fat, kind of out of it, and then Bosa last year. Bosa just didn't seem
Yeah.
100% engaged until
No.
like mid-season. So
He.
I agree on that 100%.
I think he was the
James.
hardest working guy in the Super Bowl, though. That guy, unbelievable. He was running full force against the tackle, and then Mahomes ran up the middle, and he went backwards full force. Like I've never seen someone sprint backwards that fast. Like he went backwards right after he was going full force forwards. Bosa was on fire in the Super Bowl, I think. And here's the thing: really, I hope they change this year because I know what you're saying, Aaron, with this whole like it's fixed with the Chiefs. Not only just with the Chiefs. I hope they freaking call these holding calls on Bosa because okay, I get you can't call them all because we'd have 50 freaking penalties because the guy's an animal and he always gets past the tackle, but call at least 20% of them, come on. The guy gets held all day long and nobody calls it. It's like that guy would have 20 sacks a year if he didn't get held, you know?
Me and my brother were talking about this yesterday. I said the problem with Bosa is I don't think Bosa bitches.
Yeah. He's
I
not.
don't think he complains.
He should.
I'm
He
not saying
should.
you have to be in the ref's ear all the time, right?
Yeah.
But Bosa literally just kind of suffers there, right? He gets
He's
held
too
or whatever.
chill.
Like,
Yeah, he's too chill.
go to the ref and be like, hey, 75 is choking me, man. Like
Yeah.
75's holding me. I'm not saying, anything else. I'm not trying to get favoritism, but just watch him. I don't think Bosa's that kind of guy. I think Bosa's just so freaking just geeked out, muscle and fitness. He could be the on the cover of a magazine. He's built like a Greek god. He's not the type of guy. You never see him complain.
Yeah,
There's a
never.
lot of players, in the Tom Brady era, other players that go to the ref every freaking time they get knocked to the ground, put their hands like this, and the ref will
Yeah.
throw the flag, right?
Yep.
Because they have that kind of influence,
That's
kind
all
of
you
the
gotta
Michael
do.
Jordan influence. If you were a
Yep.
Bulls fan in the '90s, Jordan never got calls, right? Because it was Jordan. I'm not saying that the league is fixing the Chiefs to win, but they're the
No
cash
holding
cow.
calls. No holding calls in three
And
Super Bowls.
right,
Three
exactly.
Super Bowls. Yeah. Because ours they didn't call much, anything, pretty much. And then Buccaneers, I guess they didn't get called anything. And then us, they didn't call it anything. So
Ash says you can't get penalized for talking to the refs unless you threaten or curse. See that? If I was a player, I would threaten the refs. I'd be like, I'm going to see you after the game,
yeah.
and then there would be problems.
What is so astonishing about Bosa is his intensity in the game, and then you see him on post game, and he's like, "Yeah, it's
It's like
pretty
he just smoked a
cool."
bunch of weed
I
before
know
he went up to his
everybody
press conference.
says that. It looks like he just got smoked a bong. Like he is just so chill. So if Bosa can hear this, please freaking start bitching at the refs. Come on.
Just a little bit. You
Yeah.
don't have to be a crybaby.
Yeah.
Bashar was talking about Lawrence Taylor always being someone that talked to the refs a lot.
Yep. He
You know,
was.
he's
He was.
generational. I just think that I can't say he's a choir boy because no choir boy looks like Nick Bosa, but if I could get in his ear as a fan and just tell him one thing, would be like, bro, just go to the refs,
Yeah.
tell him about 75 or whoever the tackle is that you're going against. Just give them a visual. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's done it before. It was in a game, right? I think it was against the Browns that year in 2019 when we smacked them, right?
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield got thrown around in that game like a
Oh,
rag doll. He was talking about something happening and for the refs to watch it, and sure enough, the refs called it. If you're crying and complaining all the time, that's one thing. But if you can come to a ref and be like, bro, I'm just pointing this out. You ever see the refs sometimes and they're taking little notes before games on little like stick it pads?
yeah.
They get notes from coaches. They get notes about certain things with timeouts and how coaches like to do certain things, how they call certain things.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm sure if Bosa just went up to him and belt like, hey, the opposing tackle, when I get past him, likes to choke hold me, maybe he'd get a call or two. So, but that's just me. A lot of people are going to say 49er fans are big crybabies because they've lost to the Chiefs. Maybe so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If your
I'm sick.
team lost to the Chiefs twice in a row, you'd be crying too. So
Exactly. We talked about this offline before we started that the Niners run defense down the stretch last year was pretty bad.
yeah.
And in the playoffs they didn't look that great either. We're going up against a really good running back. And I think that the Niners, more than their edge rushers and more than their defensive line at first to pass, I think the Niners run defense needs to be on its game. You agree?
Mhm. Yes, definitely. I think that's my main worry is last year, in the years past before last year, that was our strong suit. We didn't
Right.
allow rushing yards. I think we allowed like one or two running backs 2 years ago with 100 yards. So we need to get back on that. We need. I was just saying this. I posted on my Instagram. I said I really miss this guy. I miss Armstead. I just
Really?
watched. I just watched his first game in Jacksonville. He got a sack, and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna miss that guy because he was a wall. But I think
I feel completely opposite again.
I don't know. I,
I'm not an Armstead guy.
I don't know. I liked him, but I just liked him because of the 4th and 1s. He was great at those. But it's really up to Hargrave and all these defensive tackles
Well,
we
Malik
acquired.
Collins had a strong preseason. He looked like a load in the middle.
Yeah.
Big,
So
heavy guy, right?
yeah. So
Um,
we need to stop that middle. That's really our weak point. And we got a new defensive coordinator. So we'll see what happens. It might be a totally different defense. I hope so, because last year it was not. It was good, but that run defense was not as good as usual.
49er minded was talking. We're going against Javon Kinlaw tonight. Oh, I'm
Um,
so scared.
oh man. Oh my
He
God.
said Kinlaw put on 30 pounds, so maybe he'll actually play, but he's putting his knees at risk.
Yeah. He's got what, 340 pounds on his knees? Jesus.
You know, I I have a lot of things I could say about him. I kind of got after him for going after a certain person a couple years ago, but I take that back. I kind of wish that certain person got choked out by Javon Kinlaw. Now that I think about it, but Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott should make up for Armstead. That's what 49ers. Yeah,
Yeah.
they essentially got 2 for 1 on the
He
defensive
was.
line, or 3 for 1. He wanted 7 million, 17 million
Yeah.
for a
He's not worth
season. And the
that. He's
Niners are
not
like,
worth
no,
that.
dude, you're hurt all the time. That's
Yeah.
not
He's
going to
not
happen.
worth that.
So
He was good in his heyday, but like, I just miss that stone wall he had sometimes. But
I would love to know what your smiley faces are coming from. Oh, the Kinlaw comment.
yeah,
Okay.
Kinlaw.
I couldn't help myself. It was just
Kinlaw's,
there. I took it.
dude,
You
he's a
know,
huge
he,
bust.
he
Huge bust.
super big bust. You can't draft player for player. It just doesn't work.
And
You can't.
the first thing you see this guy, he's freaking muscle bound to the T. So you think he's going to be a beast. He's the exact opposite.
Yeah, he played like a fairy, man.
Yeah.
Did you see the story about Josh Dobbs not being extremely happy being the third string quarterback? I don't
No.
know, because we talked about how we both quarterbacks look pretty impressive, right? A
Hmm.
lot of people thought Dobbs should be number 2, but it went to Brandon Allen.
Yeah.
I saw something, I don't know how accurate it is, but he seemed a little bit pissed that he was number 2. You think there's any chance, and I'm just putting this out there, you guys in the chat can tell me too. Think Jordan Love being down, you think maybe someone like Dobbs ends up in Green Bay? Or do you think the Niners hold on to him?
That's. I hope we keep him.
Me
I
too.
hope we keep him. I think he's a very good backup, but it's possible. It is because I mean Green Bay is going to do anything to win.
Yeah,
So
I mean, who's their backup is not
is
Will
Malik
Levis.
Willis. Malik Willis. He's
Yeah,
horrible.
he
Horrible.
doesn't instill a lot of confidence.
No.
They were already crowning Jordan Love as the second coming of Aaron Rodgers after like 6 games last year and gave him this huge contract. I still think he's really talented. Hey, Peter Parker says we are effing back, baby. Yeah, we're here.
Yep.
I think what does the game start? 8:20? Is that how when Monday night starts?
Yeah,
Somebody
it's
give me the.
8:20. They have to do a bunch of bullshit before.
Yeah, I watch football. I don't know about you, but I watch football games on mute.
Yeah. Oh, I don't, but I watch some of the pregame stuff. I mute most of the time.
Yeah, I can't. I don't want to listen to anybody. I don't.
Yeah.
The fact that you do YouTube, or maybe because you say you eventually want to get your own channel kind of going too, right?
Yeah.
Doing YouTube takes the need for me to talk or listen to other people talk. I get it out of my system. Like
Yeah.
the last thing I want to do after talking an hour on YouTube is go listen to somebody else talk for 45 minutes
Yeah.
on
I
KNBR
get what you're
or
saying.
KGO
Yeah, it
or
just burns you out.
95.7 the game or on the, you know what I mean?
It burns you out. Yeah.
Too,
Yeah.
I used to be a big Larry Krueger fan before he became a YouTuber. I used to listen to the Red and Gold Rap on, it was on KNBR sometimes. It went to KGO. It was on some other channel too. It was him, Dennis Brown, and there's another guy, a couple Bay Area guys. It was a pretty good show. And then once he went to YouTube, I'm not a big fan of him anymore. But
Yeah. I
that
love
was my.
KMBR. I love KMBR. I listen to KMBR for the Giants, the Niners. They've
I
always had good hosts.
listen to them, but my guy who I listen to is Joe Shasky. Actually, 2 of them, Joe Shasky and Bonta Hill on 95.7 The Game. Those are my dudes.
Yeah.
I've had Shasky on a couple times on the channel, and he's been a pleasure. He's a busy guy. He's got kids. He coaches baseball. He's on the radio. He does it all. So
Wow.
I've tried to get him on in the last year or so, and I've just given up. I'm like, this poor guy. The last thing he wants to do is come and talk on my YouTube channel. He's probably getting any sleep he can. So, but he's one of my favorite guys to talk about. Inside joke for me and Bashar. I had a YouTuber who saw that I had Larry Krueger on, and so he had him on his channel. And when he introduced him, not only did he say he was formerly with the radio station, but he butchered the radio station as well.
Oh my
So
God.
it's kind of he called it KNRB. He
I know.
said Larry Krueger, formerly of KNRB. It's like, bro,
What?
stop. He saw that I had him on, asked me for his information.
Yep.
I gave him his information. He completely destroyed it. I'm like, come on, dude. Yeah,
Wow.
it was pretty funny. So that's an inside joke me and Bashar talk about all the time.
That's pretty cool.
Welcome Larry Krueger, formerly of KNRB. He's actually back on KNBR too.
What's that stand for? KNRB. Is that like the joke? Is that like?
Yeah, the KNR because he said it backwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a long story. I'll tell you off stream one of these days.
I didn't know if it stood for something or something like you guys made it.
Because I know for a fact if you make a YouTube channel, that person I'm talking about will try to talk to you. Be like, hey, you want to come on my YouTube channel? You'd be like, ooh, new fresh blood who doesn't know anything about me.
Yeah.
Jimmy says it starts at 5:15. Give me a chance to grub on something. Got
Yep.
homemade fresh sauce in the house, and I got some of those pizza logs.
Yeah. I got Italian sausage.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
good
Pre-game
old
football. That's what I love about football too. The food. Always
food is food and
gotta
food. I
cook
have to
something.
eat. I have to eat before the game. Me and Bashar have talked about this before.
Oh yeah.
I can't eat when I'm watching games because I get super bad heartburn because I'm stressed.
Hmm.
I either eat after the game or I eat before the game, like pizza and wings or whatever. And then the stress will kill my appetite till say like 9:30 at night. And then after I'm, stop being a little petulant child, I'm like, okay, I'm hungry again. But like during games, no way. Maybe a
Yeah.
soda,
I don't like
maybe
eating
some
during
water.
games either. I don't like it because I'm just like I want to focus on the game, not my food.
Hey,
When
Peter.
I'm eating, I'm like in my food. I'm like, all right, I'm eating right now. That's it.
Right. And
You know?
I like to watch food shows like diners, drive-ins, and dives when I'm eating.
Yeah.
When I'm watching football, I have to be already filled, drinking a nice cold drink, use the restroom, and then sit for 3 hours.
I,
That's how I do it.
I have a
Peter
quick
Parker says
question.
he keeps his
Oh,
old man tradition of pork rinds.
oh,
Hey,
pork
you gotta do
rinds.
what you,
All right. Pork rinds are good. I was gonna say, who is our starting safeties? Is it Jair Brown and who's our other
that is.
safety?
Can anybody in the comments? Do you know who the starting safeties are tonight? I've been looking all over for it and I can't find it.
Yeah, I
Is it
don't know who the other.
Mustafa? Is
It's
it
gotta be.
I can't be. I would love to know. Some anybody has the 411 on that one. Let
Yeah,
us
'cause I
know.
just thought of that. I'm like, okay, so we got our cornerbacks, we got our linebackers.
Bing.
We'll see. I mean, Hufunga looked good, but geez, it's a rookie. I mean,
Yeah,
Jair,
I don't think they were going to throw him into the fire.
I don't know.
He just got cleared around the late August. I just don't think there's been enough time for him to be ready to go into a full, 17 game regular
Well, who would
season
it be? It would
schedule.
be Odom then, right?
I think it would be Odom.
It might be. Which we haven't really seen him play defense, only special teams.
Ricky Parasol just arrived at the game. He's looking fly for a white guy.
Yeah,
Let's
always.
see.
Hopefully he's not.
Wow,
I was gonna say
this just in. Christian McCaffrey is inactive
what?
for the home opener versus the Jets.
Wow.
Christian McCaffrey inactive versus the Jets.
Oh God, that's not good.
It is the JP Mason show.
JP Mason. I believe in JP though. I think that guy's a stud. But it's not McCaffrey, so it
I knew
kind of
McCaffrey was going to be inactive for this game. I had a
yeah,
feeling.
yeah.
Wow.
Now I'm gonna hear so much crap from my
Here
friends.
we go,
My
guys.
Bears friend.
Here we go.
My,
Injuries already starting.
my buddy is a Bears fan, and he says, "Oh, the last time he had a leg injury, he was out for the season." I'm like, "Shut up, just shut up."
I just think that they're doing what's best. Kyle punching air right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, he
I
definitely is.
have, Peter Parker, I have to think that he had a suspicion that he might not play. If they come into this game with a freaking Christian McCaffrey, what do you call game plan that they can't deviate off of, then that's all on Kyle.
Yeah,
James Durnall says JP should have been number 2 last season. It's time to ball. He doesn't have like 6 yards of carry. Yeah, I think with him was the fumbles,
yeah,
which were his
yeah.
issue. So
That's really.
hopefully he can get rid of the yips.
Hey,
Yeah.
maybe we'll see Garendo tonight too. You never know.
I don't know if Patrick Taylor is ahead of him
Oh,
on the
that's
depth
right.
chart
Yeah, I think
because
Taylor is.
Elijah Mitchell's gone for the year. Big
Yeah,
surprise.
Taylor's ahead of him, but I'd like to see Garendo.
Real quick, real quick. Yeah, my brother just told me he's inactive. He just told me that Christian McCaffrey's inactive, but
Well,
we found out already,
a
guys.
lot of fantasy people are pissed.
Yeah, a lot of fantasy people are pissed. This is not football news, but for anybody who's Star Wars fans, James Earl Jones has passed away.
Yeah,
The iconic voice of Darth Vader is no longer with us. Just wanted to give that a shout out. I'm a big Star Wars guy.
He was 93 years old.
Yeah.
93.
Well, rest in peace. The one and the only, the voice of Darth Vader, Mr. James Earl Jones, as I drop my phone. Yeah, that sucks. But everybody gets old.
Hey,
I'm surprised he was the invention of AI couldn't come at a better time because, Disney likes to make all these series and a lot of them have to do with Darth Vader. So, yeah, that sucks. But yeah, he was an older man and rest in peace to the one and only Darth Vader's daddy, Mr. James Earl Jones. Yeah, the Christian McCaffrey not playing tonight is definitely yikes.
that's a big
Still
blow.
can't find whether who the starting safeties are tonight. This could be a little bit of a different lineup on defense,
Yeah.
We
I
have
think
Devondre Campbell out there, no Dre Greenlaw. Safety's a little bit of a concern, and we're kind of light on the defensive line.
Yep. I think it's gonna be a close game just because of McCaffrey being out too. I hope JP can catch some balls though. That's
That's
my
the
main
big
thing.
thing. That's the big thing with these
We
games.
still need that because they're blitz heavy defense. Jets are a blitz heavy defense. We need that running back to chip out and go catch a ball. So hopefully he does that.
James Journal says I'm putting bet for Purdy to throw 300 plus yards for a win. I mean, we have the pass catchers to do it. You wonder if this is going to be more of a pass heavy game, or does Kyle stick with a similar, running the ball with JP Mason? Man, wow, talk about last minute not having him play. That sucks.
Yeah, this is literally like an hour before the game. That's crazy.
Yeah, hour and 50 minutes before the game, and they just told us that he's not playing. I don't know how I feel about that.
I believe in JP. He'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's the freaking Jets. That's what I always say. It's the Jets.
You can't take him lightly though, my man. You never know.
I know. They're good,
Right?
but
All
we're
right.
not good.
Let's see here. San Francisco starters on defense. Floyd, Collins, Hargrave, Bosa, Devondre Campbell, Fred Warner, Demetrius Flanagan Fowles. I think he sucks.
Yeah. Horrible.
Javarius Ward. Why does it say Talanoa Hufanga? Jair Brown and Isaac Yodom. I wonder when this is from. This says September 9th. This is a betting site, so they have no idea what they're
look
talking
on
about.
49ers roster depth chart.
Unless somebody in the comments knows who the hell the starting safety is tonight. They're not giving us anything.
Yeah, it just says Jair Brown, Talanoa Funga, George Odom. So it's George Odom, I think, because he's a second string strong safety. It's got to be. And then they say Tracy Walker, Malik Mustafa. I don't know who Tracy Walker is.
He was a free agent that we got, I think, from the Lions.
That's right.
Shortly after preseason.
That's right. Yeah.
Ended. Yeah.
Let's see his stats. He did pretty good last year. He had 42 tackles, a forced fumble, a sack, no interceptions, but forced fumble and sack.
Nick Newman on Twitter says that Christian McCaffrey being inactive after not missing a game due to injury last season just goes to show how the stars were perfectly aligned for the 49ers to win last year. 100%.
Yep.
Okay, we just got the inactives here 9 minutes ago. Dobbs, Christian McCaffrey, Daryl Luter, Talanoa Hufanga, Yetur Gross-Matos, D. Winter, and Ben Barch. Still doesn't tell me who the starting safety is. I would assume it's probably going to be who you said.
Yeah, it's going to be Odom probably.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. Odom's got experience. He's talented.
Let's do a little score prediction and then we'll get out of here. I'll let you go first.
23-10. Niners.
Going 36. Actually, no, I don't think the Niners are going to score that many points. I'm going to go 31-21 Niners.
All right.
like the Niners defense gets a little bit gets the ball moved on them a little bit tonight, because I just think that they're not quite that defense they remember from full strength. With having all their guys. So Devondre Campbell is definitely a downgrade.
I think we're going to be all over Aaron Rodgers. I just have
as long as we can stay healthy on the defensive line, I think we can get after him too.
We are in his head. Like he's done when he plays us. We're already in his head.
We'll see. Yeah. I see. You're confident. I'm not as confident, but I'm always more of the negative guy, anyways.
Yeah, that's you, Aaron. I'm the guy that's like, we're gonna win. Blah, 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 blah.
I'm the 49er fan that's always like super negative. So when they actually do win, I'm surprised.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for us. I don't know if we're gonna have a late show this week, me and James, since we're doing it today. Maybe I'll switch and do Bashar the end of the week as we take on next week. I think it's the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, great.
In Minnesota. The Sam Darnold show, looking real good.
You look pretty good, though.
Are we going to go to Minnesota and lose to Sam Darnold?
Better not.
I know we should worry about tonight, but I'm just saying, I'm just putting that energy out there. But yeah, we're going to get out of here, guys. We're going to enjoy our time before the game.
Go Niners.
I'll be on probably doing some stuff on TikTok after the game. Make a little quick video. And everybody having a great rest of your evening. Go Niners. Hopefully they win. And we'll talk to you next time. See ya.